issues as subhuman and walking disciplinary, ignoring their desperate cries for help. There needs to be serious changes made. No student should be subjected to the type of was, and especially not by their teachers and not by their principals.
Next, we'll hear from Melissa Pfister.
So I am here for bullying too. I've been having issues with several of the schools. My son is in Hardin right now. An incident that happened Thursday night. My son had told me that he wants to end his life because of the bullying. And let's reverse a little bit to Jefferson. When he was at Jefferson, I got a phone call from the IEP team that he threatened to bring a gun to school. And I rushed up there terrified and found out that he's being bullied so bad that he wants to shoot his bullies. Okay? That's taken care of. Gets into Hardin. I've been at Hardin. My daughter went there 7 years ago, dealt with the same issues. Nothing was taken care of. Curtin dismissed it. So when I was up there on Friday, I walked in the school and I said, I need an emergency meeting right now. And so he was really upset, and I said, either you talk to me now or I'm going to the school board. He talked to me. We had an emergency meeting. He was disrespectful to me. He was mocking my child. He said, well, your son doesn't come and talk to me. And I said, he's triggered by men. And so he said, oh, Bentley, since you're triggered by men, we have plenty of women in the school. My son has been dismissed. He is scared to go to anybody. And I told him he came to me, and I'm advocating for my child. My child is literally doesn't want to be here because of kids at the school, and the bullying is such a problem. When I asked for the Sunshine Law, when I asked for the numbers of the bullying, I was told they're in email, writing by Dr. Jewett, that we had no bullying this year. I do not believe that. It is a problem, and as a mother, I should be able to speak up for my child because that's what we're supposed to do. I was told that I need to be a mother and get him into counseling. The problem is here, we're failing to find the root cause of things. Everything has a root cause. Why people act this way, do this. The root cause is bullying. My son is having mental issues from bullying, and not only that, all the parents that have come forward to me, every last child has an IEP or a 504. That is discrimination. Why every single child has been through bullying that has IEP or 504. It's unacceptable. Everything's brushed on the rug, so I was just recently informed, never heard the term. My child went through there, my middle son, now my son, I got an email saying it's not bullying, it's peer disrespect. I'm not handling that. I never heard of that. I was informed to go look up the code of conduct. I want to hear. I kept asking Curtin over and over. He said, it's in the code of conduct. I said, so where do we go from here? He said he's got to investigate. Supposedly they investigated, and you know, the kids didn't do anything, so they came to the conclusion that it's pure disrespect, and it's uncalled for. The bullying, like, I want you guys to really think, if this was your child, what would you do as a parent? What would you seriously do if your child came to you and said, I just want to end my life? Do you know you know how I felt Thursday night when he came to me and said that? It was the worst feeling I could have ever felt my entire life, because I don't want to lose my child over other kids bullying him. I was so mad when I woke up Friday morning. I already had my mindset. I said, son, I love you, and I will go to war for you, and I'll do anything for you. I'm going to that school. And then when they wrote an email, I cannot do that. I have to set up. No, I'm coming to school whenever I want to come to the school, because my child's life, like I told them, his mental health is more important than his education. I will pull him out of the school. I'm not playing around, because this bullying is insane. Mr. Curtin is the worst person ever. He's disrespectful.
Ma'am, if you can stop, we're supposed to avoid talking about personalities or specific people. So and the timer's gone off. So if you can just finish your final thought, please.
Okay, so I want you, I think if you guys want to know who it is, like I think you guys should know. Okay, like the names are, you know.
It's fine,
but I want more attention and rules and things done to bullying than just an investigation and a little slap on the wrist. And then it turned around to my child now being the suspect. I'm not dealing with it. I really need you guys to really just look deep into it as a whole. Because like I said, if it was your children, how would you feel?
And last in audience comments is Dolores.
Thank you. I am the grandmother of a young girl who was bullied, 5th and 6th grade. We had no support from the principal at that time. In fact, we were told to put her in counseling to soften her up. For 7th and 8th grade, we kept her home. She was homeschooled. She excelled in her academics. She was given the opportunity to recover, to rest and do the work she wanted to do. She did her own art therapy, sometimes spending as much as 50 hours a week. You could see her progress from very dark work to opening up. Some work was just words of all the horrible things she had been told. But putting it on paper is half of the solution. Fortunately, her mother worked from home. I was there all the time. So she was well watched. We prepared her for high school, armed with information that we hoped she was not going to have to use. We prayed that she wouldn't drop out. My daughter went to school. She talked with every teacher. She talked with the principal, and he was a godsend. Every teacher was on board with it. Lily got up and walked out the door. They were to leave her alone. She had a safe room within the high school to go to. She excelled at high school, straight A student, student of the month her freshman year, on the dance line from a freshman on, National Honor Society, and she was one of 2 students given the Student Council Award at the end of the year. My daughter and I cried. That is better than being named prom queen. We are happy to say she went on. She is now going to her 2nd fashion week in Europe. But this was done by different methods. We allowed all the art she wanted to do, any medium she wanted. We took control. We no longer depended on the school to solve this problem. We removed her from the problem. Maybe schools could look at some of these different options. Support animals. If we could have gotten her one dog there, get him certified as emotional support, he would have been marvelous. Maybe having some support animals. Maybe having a safe room. They can't leave the school. They can't be on media. They have to be in a safe room, resting, maybe reading, maybe listening to some music. But they need somewhere to go when they can't handle it anymore. We were lucky. She didn't commit suicide. She didn't drop out of society. She works. She has a great following. You just have to look at developing something more than being told peer differences. I have never heard that before. It made me giggle. And if most of us probably grew up with Little House on the Prairie, they did an episode on bullying. It's been with us forever. It's always going to be with us. But schools have to look at different ways to help the victim. My granddaughter is not a victim. She's even more than a survivor. She has flourished beyond belief. She still has scars, but it took a lot of work.
Thank you.
That's all I had to say.
Thank you for sharing.
And I do want to, the principal is no longer at the high school where my granddaughter graduated from. If he would have quit during her 4 years, we would have pulled her from the school. He was incredible. Thank you all.
Thank you. That's all our audience comments. So at this time, we'll take a short couple-minute break. If anybody wants to leave, you're welcome to do so at this time, but we'll take a couple-minute break and resume back. We're going to go ahead and resume the meeting. Feel free if you want to have discussions, if you don't care to step outside. Thank you. Item 3.07, is there a move to amend or adopt the agenda as presented?
I move to amend or adopt the agenda as presented.
Which one?
Which one? Or you want to?
Do you want to amend it or do you want to adopt it?
Oh, I move to accept, adopt.
Is there a second?
I second.
I did that once before, too. I get in a hurry to start.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4.01, for efficiency, the school board utilizes a consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda are routine in nature or are among the many decisions that the board has already determined are in the domain of the administration. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Old business, item 6.01. These are policy changes. It's our second reading on these 5 policies. Is there a motion to approve policies BB, BDC, GCBA, IC, and JHDF?
I move to approve policies BB,
Oh.
BB, BDC, GCBA, IC, JHDF as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. New business, item 7.01. This is the meet and confer agreement for certified staff for the 25-26 school year. Any discussion, or we're just making?
I move we approve meet and confer agreement certified.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? No?
Just wanted to thank our SCA group for
Yes.
great negotiations.
Yep. Thank you all. Item 7.02, policy changes. This is a first reading. There are a lot of them. Hopefully, everybody had time to read those over. Any discussion, comments on those? If not, this was just for information. We'll have our second reading next month. We'll move on to item 8.01, food services program review. Mr. Shields?
All right, well, we have the pleasure of the director, Michelle Fohe, with us this evening. This is her 3rd year. You're on your 3rd year now, is that correct? Seems so crazy to me, but yeah, 3rd year in the district. So she's going to be able to present to us this evening.
Our dinner was great, too.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Dana is amazing, isn't she? Yes, she
Very
is.
good.
Well, as you all know, I am Michelle, so I've been the food service director here now for, I guess, 2.5 years. I kind of started mid-year a few years ago. So I've had the pleasure to work with you all in the district for the last years. I'm very thankful to be here for the second time to kind of give you guys a little eye into what's going on in food service. I did fill it with a lot of pictures. They're better than me talking, so. And I do want to start also by thanking the board for all of the hard work you guys do. You know, we truly appreciate it and your support, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So, oh, it's a little touchy. Just want to do a brief recap of the programs that we've been running, our future goals and our objectives, cover some accomplishments and results we've seen, and the work that's been done. So our mission is for the program is to provide healthy, well-balanced meals that students will enjoy eating. The goal is to do this while staying financially responsible, following all the nutritional guidelines required by the National School Lunch Program, and maintaining a high-quality standards and options for all of our students and staff. We want to provide students and staff with an experience during meals and be able to teach them as well about different foods that they might not be able to see at home. Not only providing meals, but provide nutrition education that can be used throughout their life beyond the school to make healthy decisions. So I know a lot of you are probably already familiar with the National School Lunch Program and the guidelines. I won't go into the details of those, but in the next 2 years, just some changes that we're seeing. I guess not changes, but they're continuing, and then the final recommendation. So the first one is the sodium guidelines are in their final stages of implementation. The lower sodium regulations will be in full effect by July 2027. We actually currently already meet those, so we're a little ahead of the game, which is nice. Starting in 25-26, added sugar will begin to be limited in a lot of processed items. It's always been limited, they're just putting a little more restrictions on that. All right, so I know, or one of the things that we love most about being with St. Charles is our opportunity to be great partners with the district and all of our area vendors. Old Time Produce was very generous this year in donating a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables at our farmers market family festival that we did. This allowed the students and the families to fill a bag and take home to enjoy. We continually work with the Lewis and Clark students to provide a site for them to have hands-on experience in food service and prepare for the workforce. We actually have a few previous graduates from that who actually work with us now, which is really nice to see. We did receive a $2,000 grant from the St. Louis Dairy Council this fall to promote benefits of dairy. We purchased a smoothie bike to travel around the schools. It's been a great experience for the students. Not only are they learning the importance of fueling their body for activity, but they're getting the chance to exert their energy needed for the activity and refuel after. I don't know if you can tell in that picture, but the little boy's tongue is out. So we all, know if your tongue's out, you're concentrating, you're working hard. So I love that picture. Global Eats has been ran monthly at both the high schools. So each month, the nacho line's taken over with a new recipe from different cultures. They're giving the students a chance to explore diverse cultures, cuisines in the cafeteria. This year, we have visited China, India, Italy, Mexico, Korea, and the Caribbean. And surprisingly enough, whenever we have that, it actually beats out the nacho line every time. So
Really?
nice.
Popular.
Yeah, they love it. I mean, Dana does it, so we all know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Discovery Kitchen incorporates monthly themes into the kitchen. The picture shows one of our dietetic interns from Fontbonne. She's doing a taste testing on root vegetables. I believe that day we did parsnips, rutabaga, and sweet potatoes. Not very popular, but they tried it. The student choice we do at the high schools and we'll be doing at the middle schools. It's the opportunity for the students to vote on their next menu item. So we put 2 station concepts up head to head and we have them vote and then it takes over for the next month. Also a picture of another smoothie bike event. I should have brought the picture. We had some admin staff do it here, but I didn't share those pictures with you. And then one of my favorite programs that we ran last spring was that Project Pickle. Our amazing chef Dana really took this opportunity to hold pickling classes at 3 of the elementaries. Students learned the benefits, the history, and how to pickle. They got to pickle their own carrots and take them home and enjoy. I'd say it was a little smelly, but ultimately it was a really good experience and the kids really liked it. So Cheers is our employee recognition program. Here we have our high school staff receiving a Cheers for their resilience and attitude. I had then decided the new station concept we were going to start last fall. They had chose the deli and they really took it on themselves and ran with it, and it's been a very popular choice back at the high schools. The reason our program is so successful is because of our wonderful staff. They strive for operational excellence, whether it's be training on new processes and equipment or initiating new stations and programs. We keep communication throughout the schools constant to help manage our food costs and drive the revenue for the district. Our people are the ones driving participation and helping to manage costs through incorporating new products, finding more efficient ways to do processes, and monitoring our waste. We're always looking for feedback, not only to improve, but to see where we're falling short. Last year, we completed a survey at Jefferson Intermediate School. This led to some menu changes to incorporate more of their favorite items and also some new equipment purchases that have allowed us to make better quality product through different cooking methods. So we started over about a year ago replacing many of our standard ovens with the new combi or combination ovens. If you're familiar with them, they're a little like an air fryer. They cook with water, steam in combination, so fries might seem like they came from a fryer when they didn't, which is ideal. So our objectives and goals, we've really been focusing on our equipment needs, whether it be maintenance of them or replacement, to ensure all the kitchens are kept up to date. This leads to a continuous innovation and allows us to get better to serve you better. We want to encourage feedback, and we'll be sending out our parent and student survey in early April, and that will go to the whole district. To keep product costs in line throughout the district, we are taking advantage of bonus commodity buys and getting creative with our products to incorporate more scratch cooking. Waste Not program has been implemented in all of our kitchens to help us better forecast our product needs and reduce waste. And lastly, we want to make sure we are sharing what's going on in the cafeterias. I know getting out of your students when they get home from school usually goes, what did you do today? It's, oh, nothing, let alone, what did you have for lunch? What happened at lunch? I know they'd skip over the smoothie bike. It's like they forget all about it. So we want to do some more newsletters and let you guys know what's going on. Some accomplishments and what's next. So we have had 3 new kitchen renovations in the last 2 years. Thank you. They all look amazing, and they've really made the space more efficient. It's not only for the staff, but the students as well. The environment can really set a tone for the students, and I think all 3 have definitely made a positive impact on our students. We strive to always provide fresh fruits and vegetables at lunch and really make a point to make sure the students always have access to fresh produce items. Last year, we did move to with the move to Power School, that means food service also had a transition. So we transitioned to Mosaic. We successfully transitioned and also were able to move to My School Apps, which is an online free and reduced application system. The administrative load that this relieved has been tremendous. In the past, paper applications could take about an hour to process 40 applications, and that's a perfect application. You don't have to call a parent, don't have to ask for any more information. So the new system, it can process 40 applications in about 30 seconds or less. I think this shows as well in our free reduced percentages. So what's next? We keep a lookout for those surveys this spring, and we continue to stay 96% fully staffed this last year, and has allowed us to open new stations and concepts. Both high schools were able to open their deli lines, and we hope to continue in this direction. And finally, some results we've seen from the last year to this year. This is a comparison to year over year, and it's from the end of February for these. So I think this year we're finally seeing a school year more representative of the ones before 2020 in terms of free reduced percentages, our profit and loss, and all of that. It's easiest for us to measure our daily meal counts based on daily participation. We do by daily meal counts, so you can see we've increased from last year slightly in both lunch and breakfast, which is good to see. Food cost is about the same, which again, we've been really monitoring that because product costs are going up, but we are able to do with bonus buys and those commodities to really help with that. We have seen that increase in free and reduced percentage by about 4%. I think some of that is due to the online, most of it's probably the online application system. It relieves a lot of it's confidential. You don't see the paper coming, it's not shameful, so it's very easy for everybody to do. And so overall, the program is able to use the profits to keep improving and maintaining our kitchen areas. And that's, I have questions.
Any questions or comments?
My quick comment is Michelle is awesome.
Yes, she is. Thank you, Michelle.
She does a phenomenal job. Chartwell's is a great partner, but it runs all through Michelle. She's got a great team, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we commented the other day as an administrative team, all district administrators and building administrators, just how seamlessly they've transitioned through those kitchen renovations, which requires off-site prep, and then the food delivered back into the building where the kitchen renovation is occurring, and then displayed in a nice fashion back for the students to then select their items from. So I say completely seamless from a personnel standpoint on my part, but and she was never rattled, her team was never rattled, which was incredibly impressive because we know what it takes to renovate our own homes, let alone have to work through a renovation and prepare food. So tremendous compliment to Michelle and her team for that. And the other piece when we're talking about the free and reduced lunch applications, the need for her team to create meals in St. Charles in this county is significantly greater compared to the 11 to 15% ranges of free and reduced that we see in others, meaning a lot of our kids are getting fed here at school. And that's impressive because they've been able to staff our kitchens in a very meaningful way and then obviously meet the needs of children. So just tremendous compliments to Michelle and her team.
Great job.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you encountering problems with the online application for free and reduced lunch with people who, families who aren't computer literate? We're going to online only, and I'm wondering what.
Well, we do always have the paper available.
Oh, okay.
So it's always sent out too. We just
Okay.
don't print them out and pass them out.
Okay.
And a lot
thanks.
of, Susie Mills works with a lot of the students too that do have difficulty filling them out, maybe different languages.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Is there a motion to approve the food services program review as presented?
I move to approve the food service program review as presented.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.01, District Financial Report.
All right, a couple of things. Obviously, we have a lot going on in the financial world from a state and federal level, but if we were to pull up the February 25 board reports, the very first one, Malia, I appreciate that. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, to the year end, and just looking at Fund 1 and Fund 2, because as we've discussed, this is the most important piece for a lot of us. The Fund 3 and Fund 4 are Fund 3 is our debt service that's getting paid. Fund 4, we have plenty of money in there. But the Fund 1 and Fund 2, if you were to compare those two totals, which pays our salary and benefits to last year, you would notice a $3 million difference in what's in the bank. And I point this out because that obviously creates a tremendous amount of alarm when you're looking at February totals. But we do have some lagging payments from the federal government, as you could imagine. So Title I specifically, and I can't remember the other one, but I know the biggest one, the $800,000, is Title I dollars. So we're certainly looking at that, and we are asking for reimbursement at a much quicker rate than we ever have before, based on advice from legal team. So that's a consideration. Last year's total also had an $800,000 delayed payment from the previous year for transportation cost. And then we're also paying down that food service balance that was at an abnormal rate, so we could fund that kitchen renovation. So that's another $1.3 million off the books this year. So we start getting very close to that $3 million when we talk about that. So I am not alarmed by that number. The one thing that I think is important for us to at least annually talk about is, in our language, we have that if we fall below 20%, we go back and renegotiate with the team. But if we go above 25%, we go back and renegotiate with the team. I will say, as I've looked at all the area school districts, we are the only one that I can find with that type of language. And I'm not saying it's bad language, but it certainly tightens us into this 5% category. And when we start having delays in payments, or you just have a tremendously bad market that's unexpected, or state legislation decides we're going to make some changes, that is hard to maneuver. A lot of schools are sitting at 30% and above fund balances in this region, and certainly across the state. So, and that's not a complaint. I just think it's wise for us to always keep that in our pockets to remember. That fund balance also includes, like I've said, the food service money, the student activity money. So when we talk about that 25%, there's money in there that we could never spend back on employees, salaries and benefits, purchase services and supplies. So that really narrows us even more. And I'm not making a plea to change. I'm not doing that, but I think it's good for us to remember that. So that being said, we are kind of where we expected to be. We do have some increasing costs at times with claims for health insurance, but we're also, again, we wait for that reimbursement check for scripts and claims because that does come in quarterly. A couple of things from a legislative impact. I listened to our state expert today that the state of Missouri relies upon for DESE, and we won't know our true fiscal impact until about May 9th. That's his belief, is we won't know that until about May 9th. And a lot of that rolls around to what state money are we going to be receiving? Is it going to be $6,700? Is it going to be the $7,100 that was plus that was offered in Senate Bill 727? He believes right now the governor has recommended a $200 million increase to fund that state adequacy target. We would need, in order to fill Senate Bill 727, we would need about $500 million. And he's recommended 200. So obviously, we should not anticipate any increase in the state adequacy from what we have right now. That would have been a tremendous gain for our district in just supporting salaries and benefits. Just that alone, that would have been tremendous for us. So we're going to have to rethink some of that. The state is also, though, combating a loss of gaming revenue, a tremendous loss of gaming revenue. So obviously it's supposed to offset education. So then when that recommendation comes in, they have to consider that loss as well. We're going to expect a slight decrease in classroom trust fund and Prop C money, that sales tax, where we're seeing some of those sales drop off. And then obviously you guys all know there's a resolution sent out by the board of opposing open enrollment. The House, for the third year in a row, has sent that forward and voted in agreement for their version. It is with the Senate. The thing to note with the Senate, they are not as concerned about public-to-public open enrollment, but more so about the privatization of open enrollment. So we're going to see where that lands. Everything that I'm hearing, and I know Dr. Sievert and the rest of the team are hearing, is that this Senate is actually doing a really good job of communicating and getting bills passed through compared to previous years. So we don't know what that means. Everyone keeps calling it the foggy crystal ball. So May 9th is what we heard, May 9th as far as that. The last piece, trying to be very quick for you all, the last piece, I'm sorry, is we got our preliminary assessed valuations. This is a assessment year for real estate and personal property, or for real estate and personal properties every year. And we're looking at about an $86 million growth in assessed valuation, not gain for the district. 86 million in assessed valuation for our our boundaries. That's good growth. However, if you look at the previous 10 years, that's one of the lowest, that is the lowest since 2017. And that's coupled with this year's lowest in a non-assessment year for the last 11 years. So we're seeing that slowdown, that expected slowdown from when the government was pumping a bunch of money in and the economy was thriving and such. So that's certainly going to be a factor as we're planning the 26 budget. Thank you all.
Jeremy. Thank you. Any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve the district financial report as presented?
I move to approve the district financial report as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item 10.01, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second? I second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?